there, beautiful people. Happy Magic Monday. I am your host, Miss Nightlife, and this is
Pioneer the Poet.
And together we are Southern Comfort, and we would definitely like to welcome you to the Mad as Hell episode where we examine the notion of the angry black woman and all of those elements that accompany it. How you doing tonight, black lady?
I am doing well, as always, late trying to share this thing.
Listen, we here and we have definitely made it. So I am going to be proud of that, and we will get through this night without
We
hitch.
will. We
As
will.
we like to do each and every time. However, it's not always feasible because we are growing, and we are happy that you are here growing with us. So how you doing?
I am doing well. It is another great Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I had a very eventful weekend, but I am home and I'm tired.
You tired?
I am tired. I rested well yesterday. Well, I rested well last night. I'll say that.
Okay.
But I have no complaints.
You know, me either. This today was officially the beginning of my work week.
Okay.
It was pretty uneventful. I mean, you know, they're slow and trying to figure things out still.
How's that going with, getting ready for the children to come back remotely?
I'm not excited about it.
Nobody is. Not even the kids.
I'm totally not excited about it at all on any level for several reasons. But, it is what it is. We are where we are. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to roll with it because what choice do I have? I like my coinage.
That's all we can do.
And so, but today was good. That was not the highlight of my day. The highlight of my day was being able to go to work in my bed.
Okay.
That was the highlight of my day.
That's valid. That's an everyday for me.
Yeah.
I don't get the summers off. My company, we worked remote previous to COVID twice a week.
Oh.
So we were always kind of set up for remote. My work from home days were Mondays and Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. We went fully remote about a week before the world went on permanent quarantine.
Wow. Okay.
So I have been working from my bed or my couch for the last, almost 5 months?
Yeah,
it's a mood. I don't think I want, I missed the office at first because, you go in the office, you see your coworkers that you actually like, and, you catch up and you talk to each other, but I don't miss the office anymore.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
The thought of now having to go back into the office and put on real clothes and, get up and actually fight DC traffic. As we know, the DMV traffic is an absolute nightmare. It's not appealing anymore. So, yeah, I'm home.
Listen, and I'm not mad at you. I swear to God, I'm not mad at you for it.
Mm-hmm. I'll take some Tylenol.
Listen. Because it's one of those days. It's hot. Today wasn't so hot, but I'm still.
No, it was beautiful out.
Yeah, and I'm still contending with my air conditioner. Though today
it feels good in here today than it did last week.
Yes,
last week, y'all, it was hot as Satan's ass crack in here.
Not hot as Satan's ass crack.
Blot ourselves off the camera. It was hot.
Shit, I was blotting on the camera.
The lights in here, because you have your little lights that you have to set up, and then the heat, and then we had a fan going, and we were hoping the fan wasn't messing with the sound. It was. I'm gonna need Blog Talk.
And I that is a paid feature. Okay,
it is.
I give them a good hard
earned coin
every month. And it does not work well for us. But anyway, we gonna go on with things as they are. So yeah, my highlight was spending the day in bed, and the
Mm-hmm.
rain beating on my windowsill, reminding me
That's such good sleep.
that it's okay to break and prune and water myself as I see fit.
Ooh, water
So,
yourself.
water myself.
I need to water myself. I might be a little
Yes.
dry. I'm never ashy, but I might be a little dry. Oh no! Anybody who knows Pie knows she is never dry, and I didn't even mean to make that rhyme.
Hey,
All
pie
this
is
melanin
never
be
dry.
listen, this melanin be glowing, honey. I am a queen of shea butter and cocoa butter and lavender
And mixtures
I
of
always
sorts.
smell good too. I be like, I walk past you.
Let
Like,
me put you in the oven, girl. Let
I'm
me
like,
put
girl,
you in the
smell
oven.
good.
All right, so before we jump into this episode and navigate these riptides, because honey, some folks is going down in this
Your
conversation.
cocktails.
Get your
I'm telling you,
cocktails. We shall join you.
we shall. In our still rocking our custom glasses from who?
Kay's Custom Creation.
Come on, somebody.
All right, and so before we do all of that and get into this show, it's time to pay some bills. This episode of Magic Monday Motivation is sponsored by MMMAC55 Clothing, who have taken on the task of making a Southern Comfort line of protective masks to combat the upcoming months of the coronavirus. And so this episode is also sponsored in part by Whispering Roots Hair Care Products.
I'm still fly over here.
Me too, girl. Me too. I got my oil on my scalp.
So, two things about our sponsors tonight. First thing, MMMAC 55 Clothing. She also does watches, custom shoes. She does like an athletic line. That's actually really dope. She also owns Ann Gale's Custom Creations. She does beautiful, amazing work. That's number one. Number two, I learned something new about Whispering Roots.
What?
It goes from the hair to the skin, because as I said, I'm never ashy, right?
Never ashy.
Couldn't find my oil, and I needed to put something on my elbows. And first of all, the oil smells incredible. And then when I rubbed it on my skin, I was all glowy, and I still smelled good.
Smelled like chocolate.
It was so nice. It was so nice. So I was like, okay, this transfers. I like this.
Yes, it is a safe. It's all natural, organic, so it's safe for the roots and the skin.
And the toots, apparently, because...
And the toots, honey. Don't be walking around here with no
don't have
ashy toots. So, if you are watching us on Facebook Live, cool. Hey, hi. If you want to talk to us, please, of course, leave a comment.
I'm monitoring today. I'm monitoring.
We are monitoring comments. But if you are busy in a call or, whatever, you can call us 515-605-9706. Press 1 to share your thoughts and to speak with us. Again, the number is 515-605-9706. Do.
Oh.
Listen, I was about to bust a tune for y'all.
See.
But don't worry, I got y'all covered. So stay tuned for the end of the show for your beautiful song. I'm ready. All right, so here we go. Let's jump right into this thing. A stereotype is defined as a standardized mental picture that is held in common by members of a group that represents an oversimplified opinion, prejudice, attitude, or uncritical judgment, according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary.
Okay.
Underrepresented minority groups often find themselves having to overcome widely held stereotypes about their groups. Women in the workplace must overcome the glass ceiling, which is the invisible barrier that prevents them from career ascension and progression. For Black women in the workplace, this glass ceiling may seem even more impenetrable, and Black women must overcome the angry Black woman stereotype, which characterizes Black women as bad-tempered, hostile, and overly aggressive.
My most hated word, like I literally loathe this word, sassy. Darina, you're so sassy today.
My mama got a dog named Sassy. Okay. Sassy is not a compliment. It is
It is not a definition.
It's
of
a
my
microaggression.
attitude. It is a
Aggression. It is definitely.
I hate to hear. My
call me
daughter is
that.
very lively. She's very jazzy. She's her mother. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. And I hate to hear little black girls characterized as sassy. If they're dancing, oh, she's so sassy.
What is that? Does that mean?
What does it mean?
Is it attitude? Is that personality, or what?
What does it mean?
And I mean, and I've been guilty of using that, you know, unaware of the connotation.
I've never used it.
I have.
You know, I'm one of those people who I'm gonna compliment what I see. Come on, Flavor.
Okay.
You know. So sassy though.
Well, listen. I mean, sassy or any other term can almost be found on any news headline or story about a black woman.
About a black woman. Yes.
But here's what's interesting: the origin of the angry, because you know you want to look into things. Well, I get
figure
to
out.
Yeah,
you're my statistics. So where the
hold buckle in for this one, child.
Where does it come from?
So the origin of the angry black woman stereotype is believed to stem from the 1950s radio show Amos and Andy, which depicted black women as sassy and domineering. The angry black woman stereotype has persisted over a half a century later. Columbia University professor Kimberly Crenshaw states in her research that the intersectionality of the black woman's experience is unique to that of black men and white women. Crenshaw also asserts that the double minority status of black women makes them more vulnerable to further marginalization. So yeah, so this started in the 1950s when we could no longer
Amos and Andy sound like two white men who don't know
but they not
shit about a black woman. Shut up! Don't lie to me.
Amos and Andy were black men. Written, of course, the show was written by white men, but
you know what? You see it in all the commercials. The Popeyes commercial, for instance. Oh, honey, my chicken.
Yep. Oh, honey, we about to get all the way into these origins. So listen. Do you know what a sapphire is?
The stone?
It's a stone too, but it is also a kind of shorthand for a black woman who was a demanding, scolding kind of an emasculating, harpy, just angry kind of woman. And the sapphire caricature.
Say fuck what?
Yeah. So let me say that again. A sapphire basically is shorthand or another term for a black woman who is demanding, scolding, and can emasculate whoever has balls that aren't big enough to withstand the test of time. Yeah, I am. And so there's this whole caricature, and what I'm getting ready to tell you is gonna blow your mind, girl. Just listen. So the sapphire caricature portrays black women as rude, loud, malicious, stubborn, and overbearing. This is the angry black woman popularized in the cinema and on television. She is tart-tongued and emasculating, one hand on a hip and the other pointing and jabbing, you know, all of that. I
talk with my hands.
I do too.
Mm-hmm. I'm animated.
Hey, listen, I am whatever the hell I want to be. So I can be angry, I can be animated. It can
I have
be
a lot of flavor.
Ain't nothing bland about these breeds over here. All right, so she's also considered violent, or because she rhythmically rocks her head, and she mocks African American men for offenses ranging from being unemployed to sexually pursuing white women. She is a shrill nagger with irrational states of anger and indignation, and is often mean-spirited and abusive. Although African American men are her primary targets, she has venom for anyone who insults or disrespects her. The Sapphire's desire to dominate and her hypersensitivity to injustices make her a perpetual complainer, but she does not criticize to improve things. Rather, she criticizes because she is unendingly bitter and wishes that unhappiness on others. The Sapphire caricature is a harsh portrayal of African American women, but it is more than that. It is a social control mechanism that is employed to punish black women who violate the societal norms that encourage them to be passive, servile, non threatening, and unseen. What you got to say about
I
that?
want to fight.
I mean,
Like,
yes, you are hearing me correctly, people. So, the angry black woman is also known as a sapphire because, she lives basically to
so the word that I keep hearing
emasculate.
coming up is emasculate. Like, oh, you're emasculating. Who?
So, you know what that mean, right?
Who?
You know what that mean, right? This was written by some man who didn't get his way, or who...
You said something along the lines of black men who date white women, and that's a term that's often spouted out when black men date white women. It's because they're easier and they're sweeter and they're a lot more docile. And
girl, listen, and you know I made some notes on my notes, okay? And so we definitely getting into that.
I need more wine.
Listen. From the 1800s. So basically
the 1800s.
Oh yeah, it's finna get. We about to go. We about to take us a little scroll.
The 1800s. I like is my tequila.
Listen. So all right. So Sapphire was a character on Amos and Andy. She was the wife of somebody. And we'll dig into that in a minute. Let me go back to my notes. So from the 1800s through the mid-1900s, black women were often portrayed in popular culture as sassy mammies who ran their own homes with iron fists, including berating black husbands and children. These women were allowed, at least symbolically, to defy some racial norms. During the Jim Crow period, when blacks were often beaten, jailed, or killed for arguing with whites, fictional mammies were allowed to pretend to chastise whites, including men. Their sassiness was supposed to indicate that they were accepted as members of the white family, and acceptance of that sassiness implied that slavery and segregation were not overly oppressive. A well-known example of a sassy mammy was none other than Hattie McDaniel. She played a feisty, quick-tempered mammy in many movies, including Judge Priest from 1934, Music is Magic from 35, The Little Colonel also from 35, Alice Adams, Saratoga, The Mad Miss Manton, and of course Gone with the Wind from 1939.
So she would be characterized as what we call now when we see a black woman constantly typecast.
Yeah. Here,
one of our comments, I got it over here, boo.
Oh, okay.
One of our commenters says, I want to fight. So do I.
Listen. In these roles, she was sassy, borderline impertinent, but always loyal. She was not a threat to the existing social order. It was not until the Amos and Andy radio show that the characterization of African American women as domineering, aggressive, and emasculating shrews became popularly associated with the name Sapphire. Hey y'all, listen. The show is, so here we talk about the writers. The show was conceived by Freeman Gosden and Charles Correll, two white actors who portrayed the characters, Amos Jones and Andy Brown, by mimicking and mocking black behavior and dialect. At its best, Amos and Andy was a situational comedy. At its worst, it was an auditory minstrel show. The show, with a mostly white cast, aired on the radio from 1928 to 1960 with intermittent interruptions. The TV version of the show, with the first all-black cast, aired on CBS from 1951 to 53 with syndicated reruns from 54 to 66. It was moved in large part through the efforts of the National Association from the NAACP and the Civil Rights Movement, both as a radio show and a television show. But it was extremely popular, and this was unfortunate for African Americans, but because it popularized racial caricatures of blacks. In the all black or mostly black situational comedies that have appeared on TV from the 1970s to the present, the Sapphire is a stock character, like the lady who the term Sapphire stems from. Sapphire Stevens was the name of the lady on the Amos and Andy show. She demeans and belittles lazy, ignorant, and otherwise flawed black characters. All right, so just know this: blacks on TV have been overrepresented in situational comedies and underrepresented in dramatic series. One problem with this imbalance is that blacks in situational comedies are portrayed in racially stereotypical ways in order to get laughs. Canned laughter prompts the television audience to laugh as the angry black woman, the Sapphire, insults and mocks black males. So that's where it started. Now God created us a little timeline to examine other Sapphire characters, and it's going to blow you away. You ready?
No.
Listen, you got to be, because we have to talk about, we have to have the hard parts.
We have to have the uncomfortable conversations. True.
So, all right. So other Sapphire characters.
Mm-hmm.
Number one.
Who?
Aunt Esther. From Sanford and Son.
From Sanford and Son.
She was the Bible swinging.
She was. You old fish-eyed fool.
That is definitely. She would talk or call him a beady-eyed heathen or old sucker and all of that kind of stuff. They would threaten to hit on each other. And then, in addition to her relationship with Fred G. Sanford, she also dominated her husband Woodrow, a mild-mannered alcoholic.
Yeah, remember? Oh no, that was Good Times.
Oh, don't worry. Good Times is honorably mentioned here too.
Bruh.
You have the idea of an aggressive black woman dominating a weak, morally defective black man. When I get through going through my facts, I want to talk about this emasculating.
Because it keeps
and
coming
up.
And
this defective black
But
man.
sadly enough, that's constantly perpetuated when black women in general are talked about, especially by black men. That's one of the biggest things that comes up. Oh, they always emasculating the black man. And they trying to do this to the black king. And
if for any man that is listening, I would please love to hear your response. Why is it so easy to emasculate you?
That's what I want to know. Like, why is your ego
understand.
So fragile,
Help
but you're
me
so
understand.
brolic? Like, it don't go together.
Speaking of good times.
Come on.
Walona Woods.
Walona was a Sapphire character.
She was a Sapphire character. Though she rarely targeted JJ, instead, Walona belittled Nathan Bookman, the overweight superintendent, and she put down a series of worthless boyfriends and ex-husband, politicians, and other men with questionable morals and work ethics. Because remember the alderman? Listen, I am a Good Times fan. I hated
Good Times.
Episode.
At the time when Good Times was like really out, I didn't understand why it was called Good Times, but the mofos never had good times. Yeah. Like, it bothered me.
Well, did you know that was I think if not the only, it was definitely the first show that highlighted poor black people.
So, fun fact, where I grew up in Chicago was not too far from the Cabrini Green Projects where Good Time was filmed. Look at that.
Okay. All right, now, here we go. Here is the next one.
Who's the next one?
Number 3. In situational comedies with a primarily black cast, the black male does not have to be lazy, thick-witted, or financially unsuccessful for him to be taunted by a Sapphire character. The Jeffersons, which aired from 1975 to 1985, focused on an upper middle-class family that had climbed up from the working class. In the show's theme song, there is a line, "We finally got a piece of the pie."
Right.
George and George and Louise were making so much money from their dry cleaning business that they had hired a housekeeper, Florence Johnston. Her relationship with George was often antagonistic And the back talking.
She was terrible.
Back talking? No, she
To
grown
her
ass lady.
employer.
She's a grown ass woman. He wasn't nice.
He was not. He was a shithead. He was an asshole.
Mm-hmm. She was wisecracking, and she approximated the Sapphire. She often teased George.
She always had her hand on her hip doing this joint here.
Rolling the neck.
What she wasn't going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
she played, talks about him, teased him about his short stature, his bald head, and his decisions. Now, number 4 on the list.
Oh, God.
Are you ready?
Okay. Lay it on me.
Another example of a Sapphire was the character Pamela James.
From Martin.
Who appeared on Martin.
Are you kidding me?
A situational comedy that aired from 92 to 97 on Fox. She was a bad-mouthed, wisecracking friend or foe of the lead character Martin. Tashina Arnold, who played Pam, plays Rochelle in Everybody Hates Chris, and she too.
Oh my God, she was. The whole premise of the show was how, and it was literally every stereotype of the black mama. Oh, my mama gonna slap me in the next week.
Arnold has mastered the role of a Sapphire.
Typecast. We just talked about the typecast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
if you think about it, all of this, like things that we watch, all of the stuff that comes up, we are literally being, it's added to your subconscious and you don't even realize it. Because for a long time, you tend to mimic whoever you're around or whatever you watch without even sometimes knowing that you're doing it.
It becomes embedded. It's programming.
It's programming.
Conditioning.
It's like when they tell you, if you watch a food commercial, most food commercials are either draped in red or green because those tend to make you hungry.
That's the psychology. Psychology, red typically means stop. Hey, see me. Woo! You're hungry right now. And the green is the pass to go and get it.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Well, let me, before we go to break, because we're going to take us a break in a minute, but today the Sapphire is one of the dominant portrayals of black women. This is evident by the words of Cal Thomas, a commentator on Fox TV, though we can't take stock in Fox. That was totally not meant to rhyme, but it did. Look at the image of the angry black woman on TV. Politically, you have Mama Maxine Waters of California. She's always angry every time she gets on TV. And who are the black women you see on the local news at night in cities all over the country? Ain't nobody got time for that. Sweet Brown, remember how
it blew up.
So, but when you see women on TV,
I want to highlight one of our viewers.
Okay.
Miss Dion Ratliff says, "When you love it and can't be it or do it, what do you do? Mock or criticize it." Yes. If that ain't a word.
Yes, it is.
If
yes,
that
it
is not a word.
Honey child. So, the people that they show on TV are usually black women angry about something. They've had a son who's been shot in a drive-by. They're angry at a president. So you don't really have a profile of a non-angry
The
black
mama was
woman.
angry.
Mm-hmm. You don't. There's no
sweet loving. What's the name of that show that used to come on where the mother was like, "Oh, it was white people." Oh my God! Everybody tends to reference it when they're trying to do the whole housewife.
June Cleaver.
June Mofo
Leave
Cleaver.
It to Beaver.
Leave it to damn Beaver.
Yep.
Who is our black Leave It to Beaver?
Claire Huxtable, believing she would.
They could
not call her Sapphire because she was not emasculating in the way that.
But she was very, very even now. If I don't know if
she was
I'm a lurker of TikTok because I absolutely love the black creators. There is a black girl on TikTok who does the recreations of Claire Huxtable. And you went to Baltimore to have big fun. Like Claire had her moments.
Yeah, she did. But and so when we talk about these women, these characters that they have, how can we label these women as anything other than women who have been violated or disrespected in some way to respond in that manner?
And this is the thing. How come we have to be docile and sweet and smile if you're acting a goddamn fool? Don't I get some say in the way I feel? Why do I have to smile about it? It's like when you're walking down the street, my resting bitch face stays on, and some rando dude looks at you and says, smile. Tell your mama that. I don't want to smile. Why do I have to smile? Am I a puppet? Do I look like a monkey in a circus? Do I follow commands? No. But if I start popping off, then I'm the typical angry black
woman. Something wrong with you. But I don't think anything is wrong. You
could have said hello and kept it pushing.
Because what my face doing ain't got nothing to do with you, my brother.
You don't know what's on my mind. You don't know what's going on in my house, what's going on in my background. You know none of that. So telling me to smile and not asking, you're telling me to do something. Not knowing why my face looks the way it does. I don't have to do that. I don't owe you nothing.
And I wish people would stop thinking that they are owed something,
especially from black women. Why is it that black women are always tasked with carrying the weight of the world on our shoulder and taking the criticism from everybody? Because let's face it, if there's a totem pole, right, of people, black women are all the way at the bottom of the totem pole, but every single person, especially in the women realm, on that totem pole are constantly mocking us, are constantly copying us.
Like Dion said.
Exactly. Because let's talk about colored hair, for example.
Come on.
How many times have you seen a black woman with colored hair and the first thought that came to your mind was she must be ghetto? Because I'm quite sure several people see me in the streets. Not only do I have locks, but the top of them are, I'm fire engine red. I'm quite sure it has come up. I don't care because you don't know me. But how come when we do it, it's ghetto? When somebody else does it, it's exotic and they're artists and expressing themselves.
And creative.
Oh, creative.
Innovative.
Because if I see one more bitch say boxer braids, I'm going to box them in their nose.
Please, can I watch? Listen.
Like, these are things that we have been doing forever.
Forever.
Like, all of them now with the long nails and they got all of the rings on their finger, baby. I got pictures of my mama and my aunties and them from back in the day. I remember being in high school. And I've always been into journalism. I went to college for journalism. Like, I remember being in high school and sitting at the little thing, because you know your journalism class, you do good morning announcements and stuff. I had spinning rings on every finger. I had a bunch of gold chains on. Like, that was what we did. But it was ghetto. And now that it's coming back, it's stylish and really blog talk.
Hey, just keep rolling.
Whatever. Now it's like stylish and trendy. Everybody's into it. You see them with their little nails and their little keys and stuff. Like, you didn't invent that.
Back into a live show. We are reconnecting you now.
Thank you.
Hey, yes. Hey.
But yeah.
It's music time. It's music time. But before we go, I just want to point out this. It was TV. So you're programming, your daily TV shows and all of that. But even through movies nowadays, Terry from Barbershop, and in the sequel,
it's played by Eve. No.
Yes.
She was always mad.
Yes. Barbershop 2. Angela and Why Did I Get Married?
What's her name?
Tasha Smith. Tasha Smith. And even if you Google.
You didn't get it from her. You got it from Walter. Boom. That will go down in history for me.
Forever.
Oh my God.
The pictures, the stock pictures, the clip art, all of those things. There are books devoted to angry black women. For example, The Angry Black Woman's Guide to Life.
Yes. Okay, so I want to highlight, we got 3 comments that came in. I want to actually highlight.
Go for them.
So Dion says, negative images like Olivia Pope, Mary Jane, the lady on How to Get Away with Murder, which is Annalise Keating, played by Viola Davis, are all very successful, intelligent, beautiful, but yes, because we all know what that but is. Dang on, Annalise Keating was a dumpster fire. She was married to a white man. It was some shit. And then Sharisa Smith says, hell, I work with white people, with green, purple, and even blue hair, they don't get judged. Why, girl?
You know why. You know why, but it's okay.
I'll never forget. I was up for a promotion, and I had just re-dyed my locks red.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to my program manager at the time, and I was like, "Hey, I gotta go to the interview." And she looks right at my hair and was like, "Are you going to go back to a darker color? Are you just gonna go in with that?" Meanwhile, there are literal white girls walking around. One girl came to work in leggings, a t-shirt with like cat hair and shit all over it, like she had just rolled out of bed. She smelled like she had just rolled out of bed. She had on Beats headphones, some Doc Marten boots, and nobody said nothing to her in the elevator. But one black girl wore some leggings, and she got a goddamn. There was
an email,
a corporate email, a whole
to
email
everybody
that went out about why we cannot wear leggings at work.
Yeah, that's happened to me at school.
I remember being in school and they got to wear the little
teacher.
shorts, and then they were like, "Oh, you have to pass the fingertip test." And I literally watched a white girl walk by, and a black male coach stopped me and was like, "I need to see if your fingertips reach your if you put your hands down, if your fingers are going to cover your shorts." I said, first of all, ever since everybody who knows me knows that I got big hips and a big ass. I've had it my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing. It doesn't matter what the hell I wear. It's going to look different than on her.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this a thing? If you don't want them, it's got to go completely across the board.
So the microaggressions, which we will definitely talk about. Let me go to break. Listen, I want to go to the break for a second. Play a little music.
Because we about to get in.
Because
this is called Mad as Hell, and I'm gonna get mad as hell, and I don't care. I get mad, and I don't give a damn who thinks anything about it. I learned about that being sweet crap when you're all extra sweet and you try to smile all
means
the time.
absolutely nothing.
It doesn't mean a thing. You get run over anyway. Be who the hell you are.
So this is going to kind of lead a segue into our next discussion piece for this show. Once I wrap up the next ones, this song that I've chosen, I'm not singing this one, but I do have one for you.
Jesus.
Is it to me, when I think of angry black woman, I think of black women who are doing these things. And so here we go.
What song is this? I'm interested.
It is by the beautiful Jasmine Sullivan.
Oh yeah. I like this. Have some more wine.
Sure. Give me a cup.
I got you. I'm gonna disappear. I'm gonna go get wine.
I would have totally disappeared.
I got you because I'm gonna fix this. I feel like I get up every show anyway. You go get alcohol. Oh, me.
Next to her. So was she angry? Could we count her as an angry black woman? Is it justified? Let me know. Have you ever busted somebody's windows out the car or the house? Have you had your windows busted?
I've never busted out windows because I don't like insurance and police.
I just want to
And I don't
know.
want nobody touching my
Was it
stuff.
for nothing?
I've never busted out windows.
Well, I have. I mean, not really, but you know,
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But my question is,
Okay.
is that just an angry black woman? Because when we discuss this,
Yo, did you see the video the other day of the
the
young
lady blowing up the car.
I laughed at that for 20 minutes.
I mean, that was rather, she was angry. She was stupidly angry.
She was angry.
You know, but we don't know
What prompted that?
Yeah, and so we have to talk about that. We have to talk about the triggers and those pieces. Which
People don't like
we're
to
gonna
view our emotions as valid. We're supposed to take whatever's thrown at us and not react
do.
to
And
it.
smile like mammy. I don't know, man.
I won't bust the windows at your car, but my ass is
Much
strategic as
respect
hell.
to-
Listen, I will break in your house, right? Follow me. I will break in your house and change your alarm. I'm gonna change that bitch by 3 minutes, and I'm gonna do it every single time. And every time you wonder why you keep waking up weird, I'm gonna break in and change your furniture around. You ain't even gonna notice. It's gonna be like little tiny little increments where you bumping your knees and you don't know why. I'm gonna start taking your spoons, your forks, then your knives. Listen, I have a home. I don't even know if I should tell this because I'm gonna be telling my shit. But just know it would be literally some psychological warfare, and I'm perfectly okay with that because for whatever reason, especially when it comes to Black women, people think that our emotions are something that we are not supposed to validate. If you literally, and there are some that have to own, their whole thing and what they do as far as their emotions are concerned and what they participated in. But if you are really playing with somebody's emotions, however they react, that's valid for them. I don't see anything wrong with it. Listen, I laughed at old girl who blew that car up. Don't even lie. I laughed so hard because she didn't really think that through. She didn't. But I understood her. I'm not going to tell it. I feel like if I tell it, I'm going to be blowing up somebody's spot. You threw 3 bricks into his bedroom window. I'm not mad. She said, but can I ask you why 3 bricks? Was it 3 separate windows? Was that one window just not acting right? Like, I really want to know. Listen, I actually condone it because I've seen some real serious stuff. And now with everybody videoing it, everything, like it's there for the world to see. Hell, cheaters made a whole show out of people acting a whole fool. I don't know how to do that, but okay, I'm gonna try. So I get it. I'm actually here for it. I allegedly I have a friend who does the whole I don't know what I just did. You shouldn't have left me in charge of this. I don't know. I think I did it right. Maybe. Who will psychologically get you by like stealing all your right shoes. Like you literally go.
I love it. I love
like
it.
literally you go to put your shoe on and you don't understand why all your right shoes are disappearing. Like to me, listen, I'm will always be here for Black women. Black women are everything, and whatever you do to her and what she decides to come up with to get you back, you deserve.
Hey.
Oh, it was one window. Did you hit anybody? Because you threw 3 bricks. So once you broke the window and then you threw 2 in, did you make any contact at all? Because I feel like you should get points for that. Like I feel like we should send you something. While you were pregnant, I'm gonna need you to DM me your address. I'm gonna send you something because go off.
Go off,
Go
sis. So listen. Now we laughing about it. It's cute, it's fun and games and all of that kind of stuff. However, we need to continue to talk about the programming because we now have it's changed. The shows have changed. Now there are reality shows. You know what I'm saying? And every single
I literally had a conversation today in a group that I'm in about Bad Girls Club. When Bad Girls Club, before Tanisha was banging them pots together talking about they wasn't going to get no sleep. When Bad Girls Club first came out, it was constructed to be a kind of like rehabilitation or reform. They were to help. They were getting these girls in school. They were getting them jobs. They were literal bad girls who had like trouble in life. And I remember it was this one bad girl. First of all, she was fine. Y'all know I'm not talking about that. But she was beautiful, and she'd struggled. She had trouble. She was getting in school. She was going to work. They sent them to therapy, and there was this one white girl who would not stop. Like she literally was constantly poking. Well, they got out on the beach one day. And that sister served her the meal she had been asking for. That was the best 2 pieces and a biscuit I've ever seen on TV reality. Like, it was so quick that the producers weren't able to jump in before she rocked that girl. Like, she literally, I mean, wop. they kicked her off naturally. But after that season, it changed. They only brought women in who would fight. They would lock them in a house, remove cell phones, TVs, and if you know anything about behind the scenes, there's a producer assigned to each. You know, there may be a group of them. There's a producer for them. They egg that. And a lot of times, arguments will be going on. The infamous fight between Erica Mena, Kim Bella, and it was like another girl. I don't even remember who it was. They did it behind the scenes. And they literally knew these women had like serious beef with each other where they didn't want to film together, but you sign a contract. They got them on set and you can hear the producers basically saying, oh, no. Just go in and sit down and have lunch with her, but you need to confront her about what she said. And boom, a fight happens.
Of course it did, but that started with Jenny Jones. You remember Jenny Jones?
I do remember Jenny Jones.
Mari Povich. Now it's
Jerry Springer.
Springer.
Have you ever seen behind the scenes with Jerry Springer?
Ricky Lake.
They're literally, before them people come out on stage and start swinging, there is a producer standing there at the beginning of that stage that's literally saying, you hear him disrespecting you? You hear him talking about you? I don't know about y'all, but if you've ever been in a fight, there's usually an instigator there that somebody is egging this fight on. It's always, best friend, you better not let her talk to you like that, or it's something that's happening that gets you to that space where you now have to protect your name. You gotta, square up.
You gotta square up. I mean, in even talking reality shows in the beginning, by the early 2000s, you know, Jenny Jones and Ricky Lake and Jerry Springer and all of them had started to recede, right? But then other shows began to serve as vehicles for African American women to be portrayed as sapphires. When we're talking about sapphires, this was this lady, Alicia Calloway from Survivor, the All-Star series, who indulged in a temperamental bout of finger wagging during an argument in the Australian Outback show. Somebody named Coral Smith on The Real World and the Real World Road Rules Challenge, the Inferno show, browbeat one female castmate so badly that somebody was challenged to a fight. And then, of course, Omarosa, when talking about
Tammy Roman.
Like, it's all of these things, all of these people, we keep seeing this image, like, and now Nene Leakes.
And I want to talk about Nene Leakes. So I actually like Nene.
Okay.
I think Nene has served a bad deal. They do a lot of stuff where they set her up. Now, don't get me wrong. Nene has some really toxic traits that she needs to work out, especially her inability to say, I was dead ass wrong and I apologize. She need to work on that. But there's a lot of stuff that is done to her that nobody ever talks about. Because let me tell you something. Kenya Moore would have been caught my hands. I'd have beat the edges off of her.
So that's leads me to my next song. Not song, so not yet, y'all. But leads me into my next question or a conversation about this topic is the triggers. No, but you said nobody ever talks about what's been done.
No, they only talk about her reaction.
Let me say something. Let me start this segment off by saying, you don't get to wrong me, intentional or otherwise, and tell me how the fuck to respond. That's
simply, not a thing.
You can't do that. I don't care. I don't care what you think is right or whatever. Because if you think in those terms, then where the fuck was that logic when you did what you did? Right? So you don't get to tell me how to respond.
I've literally gone through that the last almost 3 years of my life where somebody has done something to me in public, tried to apologize in private, but victimize themselves based on how I was responding.
Right.
I became
you do me like that.
If one more person called me bitter, I'm not bitter. I'm actually quite well.
Bitter is a term to me that will get your face slapped.
It is so belittling because you're literally telling me that my feelings are not valid.
Not only that, you're taking something that I've shared with you and you've perceived it from your level of understanding and experience, and now you're regurgitating or projecting onto me how you would feel if this thing had happened to you, or how you feel because it has happened to you, right? You don't get to do that. So if we're gonna call a thing, let's call a thing a motherfucking thing, right?
I can't tell you.
Girl.
So we talk about how other races can make us into the villain, especially black women. But let's talk about how black women can make black women the villain.
Girl.
We've seen it happen so many times. We see it happen constantly. Hell, this whole Megan Thee Stallion thing that just happened. We literally saw black women. Like sometimes, as much as I love y'all, I can tell y'all mama ain't whoop y'all butt with y'all hand up in there. Like literally, she ain't walk you in a circle with it, because it fucking shows. That just is what it is. And we need to have those conversations. Like, we need to call each other to the carpet. Like, yo, sis, if you want to be picked, just say that. But you don't have to step on my neck to do it.
Like, what you putting down. I do. So, triggers. We're going to move into this next episode, this next segment. Triggers. Relationships, microaggression, and healthcare. Yes, healthcare. All of these things can be reasons
on this healthcare thing.
Of why you may meet. So let's talk about what a trigger is. A trigger is a cause. It's something that's alarming. It's a root. It's a reminder. It's a prognosis. All right.
It's also overused.
Trigger. It is. It is. But is it?
I think it's valid, but I think a lot of people use it to kind of fall into this space of
victimization.
Yes.
It does allow
victims.
It allows you to move into a space of victimization. So, a trigger. It's a reason you feel a thing. It's a reason you do a thing. It's a reason you think a thing, right? And so, in that sense, when we're talking about a cause of something, or that trigger, like, well, this is how I responded to a thing, and this is why I responded. People never start talking about how they feel.
Right.
They always talk about, let me tell you what so-and-so did to me. Fuck that. Let me tell you how I felt the other day dealing with so-and-so. Let's talk about that. Let me tell you why I felt that way. And let me tell you as what I did as a result of feeling that way. And if the reason I did a thing is, sometimes that's not my problem. It's not all the time. I'm not that angry. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, you don't get to tell me how to respond to a thing.
You don't get to tell me how to respond at all. You damn sure don't get to tell me to respond how, especially if you're the one that wronged me. You don't get to tell me how to feel or respond to that.
So the strong black woman or angry black woman stereotype has stood the test of time, as we've just seen. We started in the 1950s.
Jesus.
Right? Several depictions of stubborn, argumentative, bitter black women continue to dominate television airways, and the notion we are difficult to get along with continues to be pushed to the forefront on platforms of all kinds. When I think about black heterosexual relationships, I often wonder if many people are aware of the negative effects of the term when it comes to love, romance, and true partnership. Have we taken the time to consider just how damaging the strong, angry black woman stereotype is?
I hate that. If I'm coming to you with my vulnerability, the worst you can say to me is, but you so strong. Nigga, what? You didn't just hear what I said? Like,
I'm not needing reassurance
that I'm strong. About my strength. Like, recognize my feelings and what it is that I'm going through right now. Black women don't always have to be strong for you. We have moments where we need softness and we need reassurance and we need somebody to say, you know what, girl, it's okay. I hear you. I understand. Like, don't tell me I'm strong. Don't do that.
I listen. I get it. The strong, angry black woman is believed to be so powerful that she doesn't need a man or a partner to get things done. She's
needs no
eager to
help.
work several jobs, take care of her household, raise her kids on her own. She always defies the odds and isn't afraid to tell a man that she can do it by herself. In fact, she's so team unbothered and independent that she doesn't even need validation or any type of appreciation from her significant other if she chooses to have one. Essentially, she is Superwoman. Instead of a cape, she wears melanin and is tasked with cleaning up the messes of everyone around her. I think it's patently clear that this representation is a fraud, a drain to those who bear its burden. Worst of all, it sabotages loving relationships in 3 key ways. So because we are dealing with this thing, because we are contending with this, Jasmine Sullivan's song, she busts the windows out of cars because of a heartbreak.
She goes through literally the list of what it was that made her bust the damn windows out the car.
Was she wrong? Come on now. Was she wrong?
You know, I don't like anything that deal with insurance. Or anything that you can call the police on me for.
So, all right, here's the truth. She was wrong for busting the windows out of the car.
Was she?
What she felt when she busted the windows out of the car? Was it because she was hurt and it was a release of things? Because she did say it didn't really even help her make her feel better, but
No.
you know, at least I did it. And so, you know, the petty in me gets that
So
part.
which windows did she bust out? Because if she busted out the ones that insurance paid for, yes, she was wrong. Because if you're going to do it right. You got to bust out the windows that insurance don't pay for. The little side window in the back, insurance don't pay for that. But you ain't hear that.
So, yeah, she was wrong, but and she should totally have to deal with the consequences of that action.
Yes.
You understand? Whatever comes with it, she has to deal with that. But can we talk about, or why didn't she talk about
What led her?
what was leading her up? Because like usually before I blow my gasket, I'm gonna call somebody.
Well, maybe she called her home, or maybe she
I'm
didn't.
gonna call
'Cause
somebody.
I've been in situations where I've been
I'm
so
gonna
just taken aback
exercise.
that I'm literally acting on instinct and pure emotion.
Sometimes, but I'm so calculated at this point that if I'm carrying out a task of that nature, at this point I don't have the time and the energy for it. However, if I was to fathom, carrying out a thing, it's totally intentional and I'm totally aware. I'm fully aware. I've calmed myself down from anger.
If you see me and
So I would totally go to
I'm
jail.
past anger and I'm in that calm state, yeah, I'm probably gonna go to jail. Because now you've pushed me to this point where I don't think rationally. I'm just literally running on. I'm gonna probably blow your car up. I ain't gonna do like sis with that damn.
She blew her eyebrows off, half her nose, her face over there itching right now. She gotta be laid up in the jail bed.
Neosporin on it.
Shit.
I'm going to do something that you're going to suspect it's me, but you're not going to be able to really prove it. But you
I'm
know.
not gonna do a thing. I'm gonna just allegedly let you go.
I'm gonna let you be. You're gonna walk off into the sunset. I'm never gonna bother you again.
I'm gonna send you off in the water.
Dion asked, the sisterhood, is it real? I say yes.
What sisterhood?
The sisterhood, Black women sisterhood. She asked the question earlier when we were speaking about the fact that sometimes Black women can also be our
Enemies?
But yeah, I believe so. I have a strong sisterhood. Not to mention, I'm that Black woman that if we are out, I believe in the sisterhood. I'm not gonna let something happen to you. If I see something go down, I'm helping. Like, yeah, no. I think the sisterhood is real. I think some women, however, are unhappy within themselves and insecure and unsure, so they view other Black women as their competition. Other Black women. I think that's where you get into the ones where you're wondering if they know what sisterhood really is, if they can understand, if they can fathom like just what it means. I'm never the type of woman who gets dressed up, goes to a club, and another woman walks in, and now my face is me mugging her. No, I'm probably admiring something. I'm the one who gonna walk by and give you a compliment. Be like, girl, you wearing the hell out that dress. Damn, them some nice shoes. You are so pretty. That's me. I believe in sisterhood because at the end of the day, I think we're all we got.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. And, you know, there's a lot I can say about that, but that's not this show. So it's saying that the angry black woman sabotages loving relationship in 3 ways. One, black women feel obligated to be submissive.
We're not. I wish they would stop touting that.
It says the person interviewed said in her many relationships she found herself purposely stepping back so her mate wouldn't feel overshadowed. On more than one occasion, I allowed my significant other to take charge of certain tasks that I was very well capable of doing. As a strong, aggressive personality, I felt like I had to do so, otherwise I ran the risk of stepping into a man's territory. In other words, I catered to his ego and chose to dull my own light for the sake of tradition. Honey child, do not water yourself down just because somebody can't handle you at 100 proof.
Nope. Never.
Listen. Be submissive if that's your thing, your desire, or if there's truly a time and space for you to do that. I don't know why that's such a thing. Why is it? It makes me tired to think about it. Like, I'm gonna be who the hell I am.
Black women are the ones who have to code switch the most. We all talk about it, how we walk into a boardroom, a bedroom, no matter what it is, we smile a lot more because we don't want to be viewed on that job as angry. We have to be so careful with the way we navigate because of these stereotypes. I think they have literally crossed over from fiction into actual reality. And now, think about how many times. So, case in point, the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard that, oh, I can't believe they're making bad black women look bad and all this other stuff. But y'all didn't say nothing about Mob Wives, the Real Housewives of New Jersey. All of them were on there acting a fool.
Potomac.
But nobody said that they make white women look bad. So why is it that there is always negativity attached to us?
Check this. As any black woman who doesn't subscribe to a role that allows their man to be the head of household is labeled as strong and not in a good way. She's too independent, controlling, and many will assume that she does not wish to have a compromising, loving relationship. But rarely do we hear the phrase strong white woman or strong Latino woman. In fact, I've never heard it.
Ever.
Because of this, women of other races are viewed as easier to get along with, build a family with, and seem more appealing overall. Who fills a particular role shouldn't matter as much as who is best fit to fill that role.
Mm-hmm.
It allows society to set the standards for your relationship. Submission should never be a forced act, but a willing desire, as relationships are about working together as a team. So the second thing says black women feel pressure to compete with women of other races, and this will, this is kind of a good segue for our bald-headed hoe segment. There's a meme I've been seeing on social media that shows an image of a black couple and one of an interracial couple side by side, and the caption that accompanies the image of black couple states, "Drop to Shonda," or insert stereotypically black sounding female name, while the image of the interracial couple, a black man and a white woman, states, "And get you a Sarah or Becky." The images support the captions by presenting a black couple at odds while the interracial couple appears to be blissful. If I recall this silliness correctly, I believe Sarah is bringing her man a meal. Or It's updated since this whatever this is went to print, but
What's wrong with your legs? You can't go get your own meal.
anyway, it's we don't have to compete with nobody.
Nobody.
Why?
If it's not
I'm
a
not
sport
competing
or
with
something
nobody.
that I actually have to compete in, like for real, I'm not competing.
If you need to leave, baby, go ahead. I will help you pack your bag.
Like, no, I'm not doing that.
Like,
no, I'm not competing to keep anybody. Where I got to compete with your side pieces to keep you.
that seems
Excuse
like
me?
it would disturb my peace. That's not my experience.
I'm okay with being alone.
Girl.
Just so we're clear, I do all right by myself. I sleep well. I eat well.
Listen.
I don't know what to tell you.
This last one says it encourages a lack of appreciation for us. Anyone who feels unappreciated in a relationship will undoubtedly shut down. They will not put as much efforts towards the union, and in many cases will get defensive, hostile, and cooperative, which is going into the triggers of that thing, right? I'll just at this point I want to take this representation, this raggedy ass representation, these stereotypes, and toss it in the nearest trash can because it does nothing but continue to act in opposition of healthy, loving, unified relationships between black people, black women, black men and women. Men should not have to be intimidated by women who are more aggressive, and women should not feel like they have to alter their demeanor for the sake of harmony when it comes to relationships. If you're strong, sis, be strong. Be vulnerable. Be whatever it is you need to be.
Emotions in people are fluid.
And so
you shouldn't have to walk around happy all the time. You're not a robot.
So how can black women overcome the angry black woman stereotype? Which is our next one, microaggressions, things in the workplace. How can black women overcome the angry black woman stereotype in the workplace? So for those people that have experienced it at work or is experiencing it at work, educate yourself. Part of the problem and the reason why the stereotype persists is the lack of awareness that the stereotype. So find out if you can host or present professional developments or whatever they call them in your organization about this. Go to HR and see if you can host an awareness class, microaggression awareness class, and the angry black woman, something like that. If you need help writing a curriculum,
start calling out
or
microaggressions too. A
call
lot of times,
document that shit.
Listen,
keep a notebook.
Emails are your friend.
Yep. Do all
I will,
of those
as
things.
per our conversation, your ass to death. I don't care if you told me that my hair is short and my edges are nappy. As per our conversation that we just had in the hallway, I just wanted to reiterate.
There are a number of books that detail black women's experiences and will give outsiders a deeper understanding. So you could suggest a reading amongst your team. Education is a powerful tool in dismantling prejudice and racist ideas, but it has to be truthful and it has to be reliable and valid.
Remember, the law is on your side. You cannot face any backlash from speaking up. So if you feel like there's going to be some sort of retaliation because you spoke up, there is things that protect you from that.
Yep. And remember to express yourself. That's the second thing on the list. Express yourself. Say what you have to say. Document it. Send it in an email. Say it verbally, like she just said, as per my last email and per our conversation.
Let me tell you something. I will CC, BCC,
and
whoever I need to
yourself,
put on it.
your personal email, in case
you get fired,
down.
and then you can't get back into that. You got it.
As
per our conversation.
Be assertive, not aggressive. There's no need to apologize. Please don't begin with "I'm sorry" or "I apologize for" or "forgive me," because you're not seeking anything. Just express yourself and be firm in your decisions and solicit help, seek outside help. When I need something and I'm angry, I write it and then I give it to coworkers or people that I trust. And then which gives me a chance to calm down and see things logically, and then it also
that works.
Gives me a chance.
I literally had a friend I sent an email
update.
that I was upset about, and she was like, "Take the claps out of it."
Mm-hmm.
Like apparently, I was in the email like you could hear the claps in it, so you have to run it by somebody.
And then of course check yourself. In these discussions, we want to highlight things that as Black women we deal with.
That's a good question.
Yeah, let's take it.
So it says, how do we call out our sisters that are portraying the stereotypes? If we are our sister's keeper, how do we uplift while trying to raise the bar for us?
I mean, if it's absolutely necessary to correct another grown up, then I would do it in a different setting. I would invite them, hey girl, call me. I wanna hang out. And then you talk to that person private, away from whatever event or place it is that you witnessed it.
I say also make sure that it's definitely them portraying the stereotype. If they are expressing themselves and they just appear to be angry, we have to remember that it is okay for us to be angry in a setting.
And
that's valid.
But it also leads to another conversation. Girl, what was going on with you that day?
What was happening?
Not why you was telling them off, but what was going on with you that day? Like, what did you feel? Why did you feel it? And then just go through a series of conversations. A different one thing will lead to her response will lead to another question, which will get you to the end. And like, is there a better way to handle that? Like, would you handle that differently?
So we definitely have to uplift, but be careful not to police.
Right. Which was what I'm saying is that I'm asking you, is there another way that could that have been handled a bit more peacefully? You know what I mean? And is she gonna give me what she gonna give me?
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Which may be really sweet.
If she's really portraying a stereotype and it is very well, there's no like, hey girl, like, then you can do it with love. And like, like I said, you can pull them apart, pull them away and say, hey, like I noticed, like this is what was going on.
I mean, ask questions.
Ask questions for sure.
I ain't getting in your business.
But
or whatever, because I feel like we friends.
If she is valid in how she was responding to whatever was happening at the moment, have her back.
True that.
Have her back. Be like, hey, it looked crazy, but I understand.
And sometimes it just simply requires being in that situation. Like, I always ask myself, what would I do? I know I know how I am. Can't nobody tell me how I am. I spend a lot of time with me.
Which everybody should really examine themselves. It's a look internally that a lot of times we don't do.
And so that's the last thing, to check yourself.
Absolutely.
Check yourself, hold yourself accountable, and all of that good stuff. So, listen, do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
What time is it? It is
bald-headed hoe shit.
Bald-headed
hoe shit.
Get it, bitch. Bald-headed hoe shit.
Real talk. Shout out to my homegirl Sandra. She recorded that for us. She is based actually in London. It is the funniest shit to hear her say bald-headed hoe shit.
Bald-headed hoe shit. Get it, bitch.
I absolutely love
bald-headed
that.
hoe shit. So who's the bald-headed hoe?
So that's what I've been sitting here doing, trying to find my dang on story and what it was. So I'm going to try to pull it from my memory. This is why I screenshot everything so I can always go back to it. So
well, I got a note. 50 Cent and his exotic women over black women.
50 mofo Curtis Cent Jackson. Did you know that you was a bald-headed hoe? Let me tell you why you're a bald-headed hoe. You, sir, came from a very, very, very beautiful black woman. You took your crusty mouth ass on a radio show. I don't even remember who the hell radio show you was on. I had all that, but whatever. You took your ass on a radio show and had the nerve to talk about how black women are bitter and angry because you have decided to go with the exoticals. Girl, ain't you exotic? Because I'm exotic.
Do you see his eyes
Not
and
that.
his cheekbones?
No black woman is checking for your petty ass because who wants to date a bitch who don't know they a bitch?
He calling him a white piece of butt.
Child, you know he got streaks in his drawers. But anyways, sir, nobody gives a good goddamn that you want to date women that you think are exotic. Go you. You want a damn cookie?
He said it on Lil Wayne's Beats
First
One
of all, I
Young
didn't
Money
even know-
radio show.
Young Money radio show. I didn't even know Lil Wayne had a radio show. Well, whatever. Because I got a problem with Lil Wayne, too. Because that whole beautiful black woman, bet that bitch look better red. You do know your first wife and your daughter are dark skin, right? But we going to get into that on another day. Back to Mr. Jackson. Can I call you hoe? I feel like I can. Listen up, sir. Don't nobody care that you decide that you like to date exotic women. And so fucking what? But what you will not do in this here good Beyonce's internet is go off on god doggone black women being bitter because you decided to go to the other side. Don't nobody want you, Curtis. We don't give a good goddamn. Here's a thought. Keep black women's name out your mouth. Because you kind of a hoe with it.
Why
and
is
it's
your
ugly.
name always on black women pussy?
Like, why? Like, why? I don't know who hurt you. Like, who hurt you? I don't know who hurt you, but you need to go to therapy and figure that out.
Ooh. Also added to the bald-headed hoe list.
Who?
Who's a bald-headed hoe? There's this group on Facebook
Ooh.
called Black Men Against Feminism.
Girl.
Black Men Against Feminism. That's the name of the group. And there was this post. I don't know the person that it was posted in under their name, so maybe they posted it. But it was a list of 20 reasons
They came up with a whole 20.
of why you should not ejaculate inside of a black woman.
Bye.
20 reasons. And then
Bye.
somebody added 21 with she supports Jada. That was 21.
Y'all
But the
be
list
so
was-
damn
So it does.
oh, y'all so fragile.
Listen, every single post. I mean, it was stupid shit. It was like if she has a stepfather, and she loves her stepfather, do not ejaculate in this woman. She is toxic at the cellular level. That's how every single all 20 of those things ended. Do not ejaculate in one. So you know me. If you don't know me well, I said, you silly men always focus on things that it is you don't want. You always focus negatively on things, right? I said, so what your post should have said is, I want you to ejaculate in my cute little man pussy. It stinks so good. You know what I'm saying? Say that. Talk about what it is that you want. Because according to that motherfucking list, he ain't having sex with no one.
Hey, if you lonely, bro, just say that.
What he wanted was another man to ejaculate, and that's totally okay.
That is perfectly okay.
Say that.
Just
You
say
don't
it,
have
though.
to. You don't have to wag your little.
That's my
your
whole
little dick
thing.
energy over here.
If you prefer somebody
Girl.
other than a melanated, magnificent beauty, baby, just say that. You ain't gotta. That's why I always stop people when they hit you with the, well, I only date, I date so-and-so's because I don't want to hear you because.
Mm-hmm.
Just say you date so-and-so. So if you only date white women, if you only date white men, if you only like Asians, if you only like little people, if you only like people who eat their breakfast standing on their head while twerking, that's it. There's nothing else to add to that. You can like exoticals. You cannot
Why you keep
wanna.
saying exotic?
Because it's so dumb. Like, I was listening to the clip like, oh, God, somebody take his internet away. Like, that man is a whole bitch in these streets. And you know what? I take that back. I ain't even going to insult bitches like that because bitches be on it. He is a fragile. That man is more fragile than a clit. Like,
Ooh,
bro,
and it's thousands
your
of nerves
ego is
inside
more
of it.
fragile than a
Ooh,
goddamn
ooh,
clit.
ooh.
You heard it here.
Ooh. he just went.
Like, it's okay if you decided that you somehow made it and you have money and you decided that you like women who are on your scale considered as exotic. I see some black women sometimes that I be like, Jesus blessed you. So that's okay. You ain't gotta like them, but what you are going to stop doing, and all of your kindred like you, is bashing us. Like, stop that. Put some respect on our name. Like, you came out of the vagina or the stomach of a black woman. You better put some respect on that woman, because now you out here in these streets making her look silly. She can't squat and put you back. It's a little too late for that. So since she can't abort you, please stop it.
Should have swallowed it.
His daddy should have left him in the sheets on the tip of that damn condom. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But, you know.
Well, anyway, y'all. It is about that time.
And to that group, we don't want y'all ragged ass ejaculate anyway. Y'all don't eat fruits. You smell funny. You don't like that. It's a lot. A lot.
So,
I'm uncomfortable.
Healthcare. Can you talk about that? We just give
So-
me a little bit.
So just to touch on, there was a study done that I'm going to get all of the statistics and everything to it, but there were doctors who admitted they did not think that blacks felt pain. They didn't feel that they were affected the same way. And you come to a space where you notice there's a lot of us dying in childbirth. Like, our mortality rate in childbirth is scary. And as someone who has been on the brink, we talked about it last week. Childbirth is the closest you can be to death without dying. We got to do better. So I have Hashimoto's, which is secondary hypothyroidism. Basically, my thyroid got up one morning and decided to quit me. It didn't want to be here no more. It didn't leave me no note. It just decided it was going to dip, and that was that. I spent months in a doctor's office with these doctors, basically begging for them to figure out what was wrong with me. Like, internally, I'm very in tune with my body. I always have been. Like, I can almost pinpoint when something is off. And I kept telling them, I do not feel well. I'm listing all of these symptoms, and they kept attributing it to my anxiety. It got to the point where I was literally sitting in the doctor's office on the table with a gown on, all my business out, literally punching my fist. Like, I'm crying doing this. Because at this point, I'm in a space where I know something is wrong with me. I don't feel well. I've tried, I'm trying all of this stuff. I'm antidepressants and all this other stuff, and I'm taking this anxiety, and they literally were dismissing me. I started going off. Like, I didn't even know doctors had supervisors, but I'm in there asking for supervisors and all sorts of stuff, because at this point, you all are not listening. When I can hear you in the next room dealing with Susie, and you're so gentle, and you come in here like I'm bothering you. Dude wrote me a prescription and was like, "Yeah, here you go. I'm gonna send you to an endocrinologist, and they're gonna let you know basically the same thing." Hallelujah! My endocrinologist was an African woman. She took one look at my numbers and was like, "Yeah, something's up." All of this stuff came out, but had I not gone off, I'd have kept getting the brush off. We see it so many times. Black people go into a doctor's office, black women especially go into a doctor's office, and basically, you're giving the brush off. There's like literal studies done where doctors who are treating you today are going in. There was a nurse who made a mocking video of how she treats her black patients because they're faking. Oh, I know when somebody is faking. My mother suffers from debilitating diagnosis, and has literally had doctors tell her that, oh, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your pain level? She's like, I'm at a 10. And they're like, well, you're not writhing in pain and screaming, so yeah, you're not at a 10. How you gonna ask me and then tell me what I'm at? Meanwhile, Methany come rolling up and there ain't shit wrong with her, and y'all ready to roll out the red carpet. So we need to dig into that more. We need to really have a discussion about why it is our healthcare is brushed off so bad. We have fibroids. So many black women suffer from fibroids. Some of them are so big you think they're pregnant, and they're getting the brush off. Endometriosis, PCOS, like all of this stuff is happening, and nobody is speaking up. I have a friend who's a midwife, and she talks about all the time, like advocating for black women. We are dying. We are finding out that we're sick way too late because, number one, we have a distrust of doctors, so we're not going in. And then when we finally do go in, you feel so belittled that you don't go back. So where is the divide happening? Where can we fix this? But you know.
Yes. So look forward to that episode where we discuss healthcare and the black woman, and our mortality rates.
Yes, Lord.
So we gonna go on in this show. Thank you for tuning in to Magic Monday Motivation on the Southern Comfort Podcast.
Remember, you are not mad as hell. You just seasoned, baby.
Season and simmer
if you need to, boil if you have to.
And there you have it, good people. So listen, be sure to go to our YouTube channel. You can find us on YouTube by simply searching Southern Comfort Podcast Poetry.
Giveaway going.
And we also have a giveaway. You're here on the Southern Comfort page, so there is links. There's a raffle going on, so make sure you click the link.
You want this stuff, or I'm gonna keep it for
answer
myself.
some questions, do some stuff, send a picture, screenshot. Let us know that you are supporting us. Thank you for tuning in with us each and every Monday, and
we love to have y'all. It's always
we
a party.
do. I like to hear your
I love the commentary too, so
commentary.
keep it coming.
Yes, indeed. To all our sponsors, be sure to check out K's Custom Creations. Check out MMMAC 55 Clothing,
which stands for Melmo Mac.
Melmo Mac AC.
So it's MMAC. So it's I thought I had that thing plugged in.
It might be with the switch. I don't know.
So it's Melmo Mac. So it's MMMAC 55
Clothing. Across social media. Also check out Whispering Roots. Get your hair care and skin products.
Yes, God. You see, I don't be ashy. I'm telling y'all.
You won't be ashy and your hair will grow.
Watch it. Wait. Let me do this. Because I always have to be extra dramatic for some reason.
So yes. So thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure that you check us out and
90
subscribe
seconds.
and all of that good stuff. For those of you on Facebook,
We appreciate
stay
you.
tuned because I got a song for y'all tonight. Y'all know y'all like my singing. So I got a song for y'all tonight. I am finna go ahead and close out my show, but y'all wait.
As always, we love you all so much for watching. I always try to end it at this moment. This one always sings. I'm going to allow her to.
Listen, you cannot end this because I have to sing for the people.
She has to
The
sing.
peoples, I know a couple of peoples.
That's
have
waiting on your
tuned
song.
in
So
for
wait
the
a
song
minute.
tonight.
Last week I was so surprised when somebody said, no, let her sing. So
Thank you
the
for your
people have
support.
spoken.
When I make it big, you will have backstage passes to every single show that I have.
Listen, baby, if I can sing, I just want to sing for Beyonce. I just want to give Beyonce a shout out for
I
Black
don't
is
even need
King.
to sing. I can just stand there and,
Listen, Beyonce, I'll sign an NDA.
I just
Wait,
want to
let me
stand
do
there
my
and
dramatic
pose.
wink.
And I'm not even a stand.
I gotta
I'm
do
not
my-
a stand, Beyonce. But, work is work. Work is
Seconds.
MFN work.
But yeah, please like, subscribe, share.
Like,
All that
subscribe.
good stuff that everybody says
and
after their video
share.
that we say every week, please do.
So y'all ready for y'all song?
Oh, Lord. I don't know what we're singing today. What are we singing today?
What we singing today? Now you know I had to pay a little homage to a young lady. To a young lady that has gone on to the higher plane.
This is always such a good time.
And
It's like a party.
tonight's guest song is Aretha.
Which one is this?
I think.
Think. Think.
I'll let me put up my lyrics.
Are you trying to sing in the Aretha's key?
Yes. I shouldn't sing in Aretha's key. I should sing in
your
my key.
own key.
Oh, I don't have a key.
You don't.
I don't have a key. So, and you made me miss my part. You better think about what you're trying to do to me.
As always,
Think about
we
what
love
you're
you all
trying to be
so
free.
much for watching.
Freedom.
Thank you for tuning
Freedom.
in. Tune in next week as we dig more into our Black women stories. We'll be discussing why we are more mad as hell, as well as our healthcare system and what we can do to improve and change that. In the weeks to come, we'll be going into our healing and how we kind of fix that as well. See you next Monday. Enjoy your week. Lord have mercy. Got a business?
I wasn't ready.
Hey, listen, you got a business,
Yeah.
a passion project, an idea, a book.
Advertise with us.
Come on, y'all.
Join Southern Comfort in the conversation. Expose your product and services to all of our listeners across podcast platforms.
Social media. Are you social? Because I'm social. I am. Listen, email us at socomfort19@gmail.com and we'll be sure to get your product popping.
Boom.